What's up guys, it's Paralyzer here and welcome to Myth Busting Part 22. This is the series where I take your myths from the comments and test them in the game to break the game as much as possible. Don't forget to leave your myths in the comments down below and let's get right into this. The first myth in today's episode was sent in by Hug My Axe, who says, myth. You can use the shadows from dead antlions to protect you from sizzle. Now everyone knows that you sizzle when you're in the sandbox, and to reduce the sizzle you can stand in shadows. But can you use the shadows of dead creatures to help you? I took out an antlion and then stood inside of its shadow. As you can see, it does of course reduce the sizzle. All you have to do is stand in the shadow or just the dead body of the antlion and it will reduce your sizzle. So this myth is confirmed, standing in antlion bodies or shadows will reduce sizzling. Our second myth today has been sent in by Jeff, who says, myth, you can shoot an antlion while it is underground. Now, you used to be able to hit them when they were underground, but recently this was removed from the game. The question is there still a way to damage them from underground? First I tried using the blaster, and this does work as it damaged the antlion. I tried bombs and those also work. Unfortunately, neither the mint staff nor the spicy staff work, but the Black Ox crossbow with bomb arrows does. Finally, I tested it using the Splody rounds in the turret, which also didn't work. So this myth is confirmed, you can still hit them underground, but only if you're using explosive damage, and not with the Splody rounds for some weird reason. Today's next myth has been sent in by Oliver, who says, myth. You can't damage the Mant Gong. Let's check it out. Now obviously hitting the Mant Gong gives you a buff, and no matter where you hit it, it doesn't damage it. What about bombs? As you can see, bombs don't damage the Gong either. Next I tried the Mint Staff, which also didn't work. Then I tried the Spicy Staff, which actually did work, and was able to damage the Gong. So was the Sour Staff, weirdly. So this myth is busted, you can damage the Mant Gong, but only using the spicy and sour staves. Up next we have a myth from Sarah, who says, myth, you can use the door glitch to get into the Black Anthill lab and get the chip without eliminating the assistant manager. Let's check it out. I headed to the back door entrance for the Black Anthill lab and set up a door. As you can see, I was easily able to glitch inside and press a button, opening the door to get back out. I headed down and all of the doors were open despite me not even turning on the mysterious machine, and I was able to get the Black Ant super chip without beating the assistant manager. So this myth is confirmed, you can get the chip without beating the boss. Not only that, you can also do it before even turning on the mysterious machine. Our next myth today has been sent in by Leon the Saiyan, who asks, myth, does the hot springs and hot tub effects stack? Let's find out. I built a hot tub near the hot springs and then waited in the water until I got the effect. I then sprinted to my hot tub and when I sat in it I was able to get both effects. As you can see, they are both the exact same effect, but they do stack. So this myth is confirmed, you can stack them despite them being the exact same effect. Next up today we have a myth from Gabriel, who says, myth, the Moldy Matriarch armor affects Splody rounds. Now, I first checked the armor and it has an effect that makes it apply a debuff to enemies. So if it works, then the enemy will get a debuff when hit. I hit a ladybug and an orb weaver a few times, but no debuffs were applied and no extra mini explosions either. So this myth is busted. The armor doesn't work with the Splody rounds, sadly. The next myth in today's episode has been sent in by 3 Amigos Gaming, and they say, myth, you can climb ladders faster if you run while climbing. So I built a ladder into the sky, and as you can see, when climbing it regularly, it takes 29 seconds. Then I climbed it while sprinting on the ladder, and it took 19 seconds. So this myth is of course confirmed, you can indeed sprint on ladders, and it does actually increase your climbing speed by 50%. Today's next myth has been sent in by Black Widow, who says, myth, if you don't peep the Mant after defeating it, can you peep the one spawned by Mysterious Stranger? Let's check it out. I headed to the Mant boss fight and took him out, making sure to leave his body without looting it, meaning I didn't have its creature card. I then equipped Mysterious Stranger and began killing ants. After a while, the Mant spawned in and I was indeed able to peep it. That means this myth is confirmed. You can peep the Mant that spawns from Mysterious Stranger. Our next myth has been sent in by Shadowverse, who says, myth, you can heal your health just by switching back and forth with a meat shield mutation. This is real! Since it's so real, I had to include it as multiple people have spread this rumour. I headed into my game and got my health to right on the black line. I then switched my mutation loadout to one with and one without meat shield. As you can see, I didn't gain any health at all. You only gain health when you equip the mutation, as this is the health that the mutation gives you. So this myth is busted, and this is in fact not real. It doesn't heal you at all. Next we have a myth from Brody Tucker, who asks, Myth, can you get koi scales using the blaster of the Muldi Matriarch? Time to find out. Previously we discovered that this weapon can harvest regular clay nodes, but not the tier 2 clay nodes in the upper yard or pond moss. But what about the scales? I headed to the pond lab and started throwing explosives. I used the photo mode to check that they were in fact hitting the scales, but it wasn't doing anything. So this myth is busted. You can't use this weapon to harvest sunken bones or koi scales. The next myth in today's video has been sent in by Ethan, who says, Myth, you can heal any robots with a repair tool. I used a repair tool on an RKR, and of course, it didn't work. I then tried an tasty and it didn't work either. So this myth is of course busted. If you want to heal the robots, use heal basses like every other enemy. Our next myth has been sent in by Jared, who asks, Myth, does the repair tool break spiderwebs when you're in a spiderweb and when you aren't in a spiderweb? Let's find out. I first tried using it while outside the spiderweb, and it did nothing. Then I got in the web, and it also didn't do anything. So this myth is busted, the repair tool doesn't do any damage to the spiderwebs, and thus it cannot break them. Today's next myth has been sent in by Gundor the Mighty. And they say, Myth, the berry charm does more damage for each rotten armor you have on. Let's test it out. I found myself a roly-poly, and first hit it with a rotten bee spear with no armor on. The effect does 3 ticks of damage and then runs out. I equipped the rotten bee armor and tried again. The effect yet again did 3 ticks of damage, and it looks like it does the exact same amount of damage as well. So this myth is busted. The rotten armor doesn't affect the rotten berry charm whatsoever. The penultimate myth in today's episode has been sent in by a regular in this series, Goku Black, who says, Myth, throwing a spear with elemental damage doesn't do damage with the element, but with mighty instead. Let's find out. I made a spicy spear, and it took 3 throws to finally kill an orb weaver. Then I got a fresh rusty spear, which took 6 throws to kill the orb weaver. Finally, I got a mighty rusty spear, and this took 4 throws to defeat the orb weaver, meaning this myth is busted. The elemental damage from the weapon does apply when thrown. Our final myth today expands on a myth we've explored previously, and was sent in by Excluded Sum. And they say, Myth, talking to Wendell prevents fall damage. Now, in the past we tried this by dropping on Wendell's head, but this time we're going to try it by talking to him instead. This took a few tries as Wendell is a pain, but eventually I was able to do it, but still died when I hit the ground. Thus this myth is busted, talking to Wendell doesn't remove fall damage. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Myth Busting. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like on it. Comment your myths down below, and I'll see you in the next grounded video. Have a great rest of your day.